I'm on H1B visa. I just got laid off. I lost my job. I know that I have 60 days left, but what are my true options? This is the text I have received at least 100 to 200 times in last like 3-4 months because of the tech market we are in. So that's why I decided let's really make a video which I can send everyone. And what are your true options if you do get laid off on H1B visa? Quick disclaimer, I'm not an immigration lawyer, so please consider this only for education and entertainment purposes only. Option number one is find another job within that 60 days. You have 60 days to find another job. Your first thing is to start working on your job search, building your profile again, reaching out to your connections and recruiters and LinkedIn profile, networking and all of that to truly get a job. And if you get a job, all you have to do is that new company has to take over your existing H1B application. You don't have to go through lottery again. So you just have to find another job within that 60 days. So that's your best case and your first option. Option number two is that you're not able to find your job and you're struggling. I would highly recommend you to start working on getting your B1, B2 visa application change of status. You can do it online through I-539 form. I've made a detailed video on this, so I'll link right here or here, wherever it is, but go check it out. But basically what you're saying is that, hey, I want to change my status from H1B to B1, B2. While that B1, B2 visa is, that's a tourist visa, business visa, while that is getting approval or denial, while that application is getting processed and it's in pending status, you legally have right to stay in United States, not work. So please understand the difference between it. So let's say after H1B 60 days are gone, now you are not eligible to work in United States. So, but you're eligible to stay in United States because your application is pending. You can do your job search while that is happening. But once you get a job, that company has to file for H1B, get the H1B stamped again. You have to go out and get the stamp again, and then you can start working. So that is the big difference. You have to understand, while your status is pending, you cannot work. If you want to know more about it, like I said, I have a detailed video. Go check it out. It's with an immigration lawyer, so you'll find more details on that one. Before we move on to the next part of the video, I want to quickly talk about something you are going to absolutely need it once you are in United States. That is sending money back to your parents in your home country, which is India. For me, at least, maybe you want to send money to your brothers and cousins to surprise them for a birthday party, or your girlfriend or boyfriend for Valentine's gift and all of that. You will want to send money because you'll be making money on campus through part-time or internship or full-time job. Right now, the process for me is that I have to use a third-party app and then give them my bank details. Then I have to get the bank details for the person who I'm sending the money and put all of that and do the transaction. Sometimes it takes few minutes or sometimes it takes few days because they are doing the bank verification, and maybe there's bank holidays, business days and all of that. But we have solution for this hassle and a conversion process, which is Unplex, who's also sponsoring this video. They have come up with a solution which is sending money through WhatsApp, which is mind-blowing. Just you're using WhatsApp, you don't have to do the downloading, and the registration process is super simple. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. You can just go and register. It's free of cost. You don't have to pay anything. You only pay when you make the transaction, so that's super cool. And when you do make the transaction, the conversion rates are the best and competitive in the market. Plus the receiver, when they get the money, they can receive the money in their bank, or they can receive the money in the gift cards for their favorite brands which they have partnered with, and they are powered by Visa, which you see it on the debit card and credit card, which means that security is going to be top notch. I truly believe this is going to be game changing. So I'll leave the link in the description. Highly recommend you to go check it out. You don't have to pay anything, so register for free, and then once you start using the app, you can do it. Very simple and easy to use. I'm gonna start sending money. It is super cool. Again, link in the description, check it out. And now I will let you enjoy the next option is F1 visa, changing your H1B status to F1 visa. Now this one is very tricky and it's a gray line. I don't recommend this just to stay in United States. If you genuinely wanted to improve your career and advance your career, maybe you want to move from tech to tech management role, or you want to get some business skills, this might be your opportunity, and get an MBA degree or MEM degree or whatever, another master's. If you have done bachelor's, then you can obviously do master's, and you're doing from bachelor's to master's, you get another OPT as well. But if you're doing master's to master's, you don't get another OPTs and all of that. But what you can do is certain colleges will let you do day one CPT. So technically you're going from H1B to F1 status again, and then in that F1 status your college can approve for day 1 CPT, which legally allows you to work while you're studying for 40 hours. And while you're studying, your company can again apply for H1B, and hopefully it gets picked up, and then everything can be all good. But again, please don't do it and exploit the system and gamify the system just because you want to stay in United States. You genuinely want to study and get an education. That's only when you should explore this option. Next option is O1A visa or O1B visa. Really, it's more O1A if you're in the tech world, science world, but if you're in artistic world, creative world, then you can apply for O1B. But this visa is really hard to get. It's not like super easy to get, and you might not have enough time. So let's say if you lost your H1B visa and you have 60 days, within that 60 days, it's going to be really hard to come up with all the evidences you require to apply for this visa. If you want to understand what it takes to get O1 visa, I've made a video again right here. Go check it out in detail. There are basically 8 criteria government looks for. Out of 8, you have to be eligible. You have to have 3 of them. The more you have it, the better your case will be. You have to be top 10% in your field or something like that. So it's really hard one. But because again, the same case applies, like because your O1 is in pending status, you can technically be in United States. You cannot work because you don't have work permit, but you can be in United States because your O1 status is eligible. Let's say because you've lost your 60 days and your O1 is in pending status, but you found a job after 60 days, your company is willing to sponsor H1B. You have to just go out of United States, get a stamp again, and come back. Your O1 can still stay and parallelly be along with H1B. They both are different tracks and they can still happen. But O1 is not super simple to get it. Watch the video, you'll understand why. Going to Canada, yes, this is something I've seen people doing as well. I've made a video on this as well. Here's the video, go check it out. But this friend of mine who didn't get a H1B and they decided to go to Canada, pursue the PR for Canada. You can do PR or you can get work permit and work in Canada. And because you have PR, you can now, if you want to work still in United States, you can come back on TN visa. There are benefits and cons and of TN visa, but again, if that is the lifestyle you want to do, you want to stay in a foreign country, you don't want to go back to your home country, Canada is another option. You can migrate to that country, get on a work visa, PR, and then hopefully your life will be good if that's what you want. Another option is to going back to your home country or India if you're from India. That is totally possible. I actually know a few people who did go back to India and they found a job which is paying them 40 to 50 lakhs per year, which is equivalent to about $100,000 a year in United States. So if that is the lifestyle you want to go and you want to stay with your family and that is something you want to do, India is not really a bad option, or your home country might not be the bad option. You just have to figure out your plan and strategically move back to your home country. Another option is if you have a spouse and they are on H1B visa, then you can go on H4 visa. So if you are a husband or a wife is on H1B, then you can go on dependent visa. You can choose H4 visa. Again, you cannot work because you don't have work permit. But if your spouse, who's on H1B visa, and they are in green card process, and if their I-140 is approved, then you can legally apply for EAD on H4, and then once that gets approved, then you can start working. So you can still do that. Similarly, if you have a spouse and they are on F1 visa, then you can go on F2 visa, which is dependent on F1 visa. There's no option for you to work, but you can stay in United States. In all this scenario, you can keep applying for a job, and once you get a job, because you've lost that 60 days, and after that 60 days, you might have to go outside United States and come back with a stamp on your passport. There is a provision that you can apply for change of status within United States. But again, check this video where the lawyer explains in detail how that works. Those were your options. Here are some things you should absolutely not do it. Number one is travel outside United States unless you're going for stamping specifically. Because your visa is in this weird limbo status where you don't know what is happening with your visa. Going out coming back, there's no guarantee whether you can come back or not. So usually immigration lawyers don't suggest you to go out, again, unless you're going for stamping purposes. Another thing you want to do is stay in touch with your old employer, because you might need documentation from there, your I-797 approval notice, and you might have them to revoke your H1B and all of that. So keep in touch with your old employer, and even if they laid you off or fired you, basically, don't get super angry and don't do something crazy that now they will not respond to you and not give you paperwork. Another thing to keep in mind, if you have existing green card application, now this will impact that as well. So make sure to reach out to your immigration lawyer and consult an immigration lawyer to figure out like what you should be doing in this situation. Another thing is to keep a track of your I-94 expiration date. Yes, this overstaying in United States can have serious impact on your overall visa status in United States. So do not overstay it or unauthorized stay in United States. So make sure your I-90 know what is the expiration date and keeping track of all of that. I highly recommend you to hire an immigration lawyer. It will be expensive, but it will give you peace of mind so that you know that you're doing everything legally perfectly fine. And if you enjoyed this video, I'll highly recommend you to watch this one, which is converting your H1B visa to B1 B2 visa, and this one, which is how to get O1 visa and what are the criteria and how can you apply for it. Hope you find it helpful. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep smiling and keep hustling. You gotta hustle every single day.